Watch how you talking to me. Watch how you talking to me. Watch how you talking to me. Watch how you talking. Watch how you talking to me. Watch how you talking to me. Watch how you talking to me. Watch how you talking. Have you ever seen snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Fall in the six. Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Fall in the six. Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? If I knew back then what I knew right now, I'd be on right now. I'm the nigga right now. I'm the nigga right now. Got your bitch right now. Since you want it right now, getting litty right now. Wanna text me right now, outside right now. Please do not get in my face. You know that I'm riding nowhere. I just needed my space. I drink it straight with no chase. Love when you making that face. Living out a suitcase. Annie, are you okay? I fuck you good the long way. Watch how you talking to me. 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 Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six?
She's a keeper, legs like Serena, strong like Xena, turn into a screamer. She's a dancer, money from Atlanta. She's a cancer, phone ring, no answer. I'm getting litty, mixed dirty with the fana. My life a movie, I always got a camera. I'm at Cabana, she's sucking my banana. Ooh, na-na. If we never met, I'm there right now. Put a bullet in my head right now.
Yeah, I'm living off of moonlight, moonlight. Talking but you don't fight. About a new life. Even when I'm wrong, you know I'm still right. On another level, reach a new height. I used to hit the block just in all white. No, I can't bless you, but my gun might. Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Fall in the six. Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? Fall in the six. Yeah, I'm living off of moonlight, moonlight. Have you ever seen a snowfall in the six? What I know right now, what I know right now, if I knew right now, what I knew right now, I be on 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 right now.
Okay. All right. I'm here now. I'm here. Greetings and salutations. I hope everyone's having themselves a mighty fine day. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell of dawn so the ghost of the 13-month series doesn't get you and you can stay notified. This is the last time I'm going to do this. I won't do this. I need to be in all these videos around the same time. The old man still got it. Equalizer. This was a Nuno Mendes game. I'm not an idiot. All right. Nuno Mendes game. Obviously, you put Lamine Yamal in his pocket. But shout out to the Portuguese, man. Shout out to Portugal for the second Nation League win. That's 3 international trophies for the Portuguese. Shout out to y'all, man. I'm not trying to live through more Spain international dominance. I already lived through a 3-peat. Hey, bro. Easily a 9 out of 10 chapter. I'm not as high on it, but I'm not mad at that. What's up? Routine? Urek'S, even without his shining power, is stronger than rankers. He's him. God said, let there be light, and Urek'S Mazino was born. I love it. What's up, hon? Hey. We need Tiara back in the story. Latum, amen. What's poppin'? I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm feeling good. The weather's getting warmer. Summertime. You know. Spain didn't win. Yagami Mazino, I like it. Like Yagami, like Mazino. 10 out of 10 chapters because Urek'S situation might or practically explains Blossom's situation at technical level. I'll elaborate on that. I am light. Send super chats for the man and press the like, guys. Yo, Portuguese, she looks fire. Yeah, my girl got me this in Portugal. She was in Portugal in May. She actually got this for me. I wore my other one yesterday, but I had to rep a little bit more, you know? I had to rep a little bit more. Well, Urek versus admin stocks are up after this chapter. We're going to talk about that. That was very interesting to me. Also, shout to SIU going to Anime Expo. Okay, so he is going to Anime Expo for real, for sure. Okay. I wonder what kind of announcement he's going to make. If I knew that beforehand somehow, maybe I would have tried to go there, but I don't have the money and funds to go there. Anime Expo's in LA, right? I don't have LA money right now. I will be in Otakon probably will be at Otakon in Washington D.C. in August with Pat and Simi and Chief. So what are your thoughts on the chapter? I'll get there in a second. Thank you for the $10 I almost said subscription donation. I appreciate it. Can't stay for long because of work, but watching the VOD after. Thank you so much. Thank you. Shoot, now you can decide the goal. You get a video idea and whatnot. Yes, I appreciate it. Real quick, says hope everyone's doing well. Hope you guys have been enjoying like the week and the month or whatever. I gotta say this real quick. Just because like I'll probably have my own discussion about it. I'm not gonna get into it right now, but I am free from Mario Kart 8 after 10 years, and I've actually been at my boy's house playing Mario Kart World on the Switch 2. I've been there a few times to play it, and I've enjoyed it in many aspects. I think it's not necessarily better. It's different, but just wanted to give a shout out to that. That was fun. And I recently spoke about it, but the Sea of Stars DLC, and I'm very excited for the Chain Echoes DLC and Rematch. That football game that came out is very fun. All right, Tower of God time. LA people don't even have LA money. Big facts. Most people don't got LA money, brother. I feel that. Urek wants to throw hands with an admin. He gets one shot at his current state, even with his light powers. I've been well. The desert heat going crazy though. You guys are in different heat. I'm just thinking, this is Toronto. We cold half the year, then we're in scorching hot humidity for like 2 months. So that's how it works for the most part. All right. So my thoughts in the chapter. I liked the chapter. I thought it was good. I thought there was very specific, interesting things about the chapter that I want to tackle and want to speak about. I'm not as high as you guys. I said I wouldn't give it more than an 8. I wouldn't give it less than a 7.5. I think I'm starting to have a bit of a pacing issue. I think I want to see how things play out before I particularly critique it, but I can probably just say that it's moving just a little slow for my liking, and if I could, I would press the 1.5 speed just to speed it up a little bit. But the chat, when I did my Twitch stream, had brought up some good comments about why it's the case. So there could be people who, for whatever reason, somehow they found this series and this is how they enter Tower of God. So having to explain like the bangs and how bangs work and Shinsu and like some of the basic concepts we already have a more elevated, intricate understanding about needs to be re-explained for somebody who might end up going through Tower of God, do a Urek'S Mazino spinoff into the Tower of God main series pipeline. Still think you might be spoiling yourself on some things, but I found that comment to be interesting. And there was another point you guys made that I can't remember right now. It was a good point about the pacing. But I would argue that by now I thought we would be on at least floor 20. I thought this would be a little more montagey. I thought maybe we'd be dealing with some Flower of Zagania related stuff, or maybe plant the seeds for when Mazino comes back later. So yeah, but I like the chapter. It was good. I very much enjoyed the conversation with Baskerville, the dog, Mr. Puppy. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, generally, I'm about a 7.6 to about an 8. I speak for everyone when I say we want Bam back as our MC. Are you sure? Are you sure? Cap, I was hoping we'd see more from Evelyn this chapter, to be honest. I think that's also threw me off just a little bit because I was like, okay, is she going to control the bull and or the queen netfish, the net dolphin queen to come save her? I guess we'll see that later. I also thought the confrontation with Mazino and Danzon would have concluded by now. I like this chapter because it recontextualizes Urek'S Shinsu control and why he fights the way he does. So it's almost like I'm sure later on, as you got a grasp of it, it's general control, but it seems like it's subduing and forcing the will of the Shinsu to listen to you more so than straight up like controlling it. Though I do think he gets to that later. Hi, baby. How you doing? Repping the shirt. I got the shirt on. Hold on. You see. Hold on. For the one time. Hey. Korea seems to be really loving the spinoff, which might make SIU want to take his time. That was the other point. Sorry, that's what it was. Maybe he changed his tune about the speed in which he wanted to go about this side story, because he's like, hold on. People are clapping the Homelander meme, and people are clapping. He's like, oh, y'all like this? I'm going to keep going. I think this is going to end up being a lot longer than a lot of us thought it would be initially. Did I miss that? About Blossom and Urek'S destructive Shinsu? What about it? This was the best chapter since part 1. And yeah, I agree with with Twitch. It's not for just OG fans. It's to bring in new fans, just victim of our own expectations. My pushback to that was only that I felt like a lot of the fourth wall breaking jokes were specifically for Tower of God readers, but maybe he's doing a little bit of both. I have to re-explain this stuff properly for new readers, but if you've been here before, here's some fourth wall jokes that tie to the series. The picture of Bam using Shinsu for a wave controller, so maybe he's trying to play that middle ground, which made sense to me. That was the other point. Thank you. I wonder if the spinoff will be a backdoor into season 4 by ending it at the start point of season 4. That would be interesting. Really gonna chat. What's up? I'm good, man. Can't complain. Spain didn't win. OKC won yesterday. I'm happy. I can't complain right now. I had a good weekend and a nice Monday. For the most part, I was actually surprised we focused on the Urek'S for the most part of the fight. I thought we were gonna get a clash that SLU was gonna cut away. I do too a little bit. Do you think Danzon is the only supervisor in on Rehab's plans, whatever that is? I almost feel like Danzon doesn't really like that Rahab is like weird or like dark or has something to it. I don't know that he knows. He might be out the loop. I could argue he's out the loop. I don't think he knows. I think some of the other rankers and other people know, maybe know a bit more. But in the last chapter, they all said that Rahab is crazy, but he's not that crazy. And then he put the test in the throne and the crown or whatever it was in the heart of the nest of the dolphins, and they're like, "Yo, this guy's insane." So, well, I don't know. Jury's out on that one. I want to see a bit more. Yeah, a little bit of both. Naya meant like not exclusively for OG fans. What I meant, that makes sense. And again, I would be interested in speaking to somebody who's like, yo, I like Tower of God. I first read the Urek'S Mazino spinoff and then the main series to see how like certain things in their mind aligned. Like I think it's like the example I used on Twitch would be kind of like talking to somebody who got into Star Wars, but they went in chronological order. So they did episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instead of 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Someone brought up a really good point to me with that, by the way. This is off topic a little bit, where they said, I actually suggest anybody who gets into Star Wars to start with 1 if you already know the Darth Vader twist. And I thought, I never looked at it from that vantage point. That makes a little bit of sense to me. I'm here for a longer story, though SIU dragging his feet a little bit. I do expect it to pick up, though, as we're in the middle of a test, which usually goes by faster. I feel that. I feel like Danzon isn't actually a bad guy and is more so trying to curb Urek'S ego before it gets him killed in the future. The problem for him is that Urek'S is too strong for that to work. I actually agree with that. I think we're a little bit misreading Danzon's character. And I mean, he's done really interesting things to add on to that point where like, I'm big angry strong guy, and you got a teddy bear and a pajama outfit. Like I already think he's playing with expectations, perception versus reality with this specific ranker, which I have taken a liking to. I put him in I don't like him as much as Liroro and stuff, but I actually do like this guy. We all know the best ranker of all time is Mio Love. We all know that. That's a fact of life. But shout out to Danzon. Dirty hair. Do you think Bam will have a falling out with FUG because they might want V to possess him forever? I think that will be a part of the conflict for sure, yes. Especially if some people do know about it or learn about it. Especially Loose Leg. I don't know that Loose Leg particularly cares for Bam. He cares for his master. I think Danzon is the Liroro to rehab being Han Sung Yu. Yes. That makes perfect sense wherever I fall. If the rumor is true that TOG S4 returns in December, unless they release it simultaneously, which I doubt, we have about 20 chapters left. I think we will wrap up the events of Floor 1 and then, for the last 3 to 2 chapters, we have a montage of Urek'S saying this, and then this happened, and then that happened, and at the end of it, him either meeting Team Sweet and Sour or him becoming a ranker. Do you guys think it's possible what SLU does is almost, what if this doesn't end? Like every time he takes a break or hiatus or steps away from the main series, he comes back to the spin-off. So what if he does an Urek'S Mazino's Ascent Season 1 or Part 1 completed, then goes to Tower of God? Or when Tower of God's going back, he just says, hey guys, I'm going to be stopping the Urek'S Mazino spin-off at this point as I need to put all of my time and focus into the main series. But once I go on the break again, I'll come back to it. Does anyone think that's possible? Oh, wait, I forgot Tiara was our anchor. 1A, 1B, Shaq and Kobe. I am out of it. So if Mulov and Tiara are Shaq and Kobe, all right? Listen, they act like two goats can't coexist. They can. Wait a second. Why did Urek'S say he's different from Danzon? I thought all life came from light. I think he's just kind of talking smack, not necessarily but also saying that he's like a luminous one. He's the primordial light. We don't know that habitants from the tower are related necessarily to the primordial darkness. I'm not entirely sure. You seem happier. Also, a bit of meathead, but what do you think of the general combat art style and paddling seem to be fake since season 3? Also, he seems to have a lot of handstand flips and kicks. Yes, it's been a lot easier to tell what's going on with the action sequences for the most part. Even at one point when I was confused, it made sense after. Like, I saw some water portion. I'm like, oh, what happened? Is that Shinsu? I'm like, oh, the bull dragged Lopobia Evelyn underwater. I think it's been a lot more cohesive with a lot less visual noise. And yeah, Mazino's a bit of an acrobatic fighter. He's constantly flipping and handstanding and cartwheeling and, front flipping and whatnot. He's acrobatic, especially for how muscular he is. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's been good. I like the combat. There's a lot of stuff in season 3 that I did like. I think like Caliban versus White was one. I think it was Yama versus Kelhelm, plus some other ones, but I found in season 3 his action wasn't as clear as it could be. Danzon was genuinely concerned that Urek'S had no hesitation and that the administrator signed their fight immediately. A testament to him being like, I agree with you. I really think he was trying to use this moment to be like, yo, you actually are very talented and you could become something great in this tower. But if you don't get your ego in check and learn to control that, you're going to overbite and overstep and you're going to get yourself killed. Let me do this now, not kill you, and show you, hey, you have a lot to learn. Unfortunately, he doesn't know he's an irregular and a luminous one, and the one that has a lot to learn is you, Danzon. Yeah, even this chapter, Danzon was... You know what? I'm going to have to start doing this. Yeah, even this chapter, Danzon was entering the fight and telling Urek'S he's allowed to run away mid-fight, even when that really isn't an option if he genuinely wanted to kill a regular. Yeah, I think he will alternate. This story feels like a full series, what he wants to do, rather than a small side story. I like it. I'm here for it. I would like for him to keep this going during any break or flip up and just use different characters. Okay. I do think SIU can definitely continue the Urek'S side story if it takes another break. Not necessarily each character's Ascent, but also a parallel story to the main. Maybe like how Ja Wagnan became a chosen regular and how he did what he did up until the point where we finally met him with our group of people. Hell no, I'd rather for him to get rest. If he wants to write so much, he can just release 2 chapters per week. I wouldn't mind if he wants to make the spin-off into season. He better speed up. I also see him making side stories of different characters as well during breaks from now on. Despite how talented Urek is, he is taking his training seriously, which was even shown on chapter 11 with his morning workout. That's a good point. Urek asking the admin they could fight later, although he got that Sasuke and Gon Freaks crash out Urek, who want to smoke Mazino, he think he's Enryu. And since we're on the topic, since you brought it up, how do we feel about that? That was very intriguing to me. Because one of the main points I made about at the time, they were like the three main irregulars to me. I had to switch tunes and maybe make it a big 5 or a big 4 because I don't know that Phantom Minimum is an Axis. I made a video on that. Go watch that. Did I put that out actually? Is that out? Hold on. Am I a capper? I don't remember what video I dropped last. Maybe the last video I dropped was the one about which new character we found the most interesting. And I said Neo was the one I had the most intrigue with for the time being. For some reason. I have to watch Haku's video about the Urek Mazino spin-up before watching it. What the hell did I drop last? Yes, Axis retcon. Yes, I did do it. Okay, just making sure. Make sure I'm not talking smack. What was I gonna say? I always said that they all had a feat in a sense that the other one didn't complete. Zahard, King of the Tower, changed it, yada yada, bunch of weaponry, whoop whoop. Mazino, throw Shinsu at the speed of light, climb the tower the fastest, something like 50 years, whoop whoop. Enryu killed an administrator, 9,000 bangs off the rip, whoop whoop. So to me, I've always kind of had the idea that I wouldn't be shocked by any outcome, but I do think that in my brain, for a long time, if you forced me to bet on somebody, I probably would put my money on Enryu. But I feel like with the Luminous One lore building up, and even him kind of being like, if I want to challenge you, how do I do that? And he looked back and said, bro, whenever. I'm with the shits. And then just swam off. I'm like, I wonder if he challenged an administrator and couldn't pull off the same feat as Enryu, but did something impressive in his own right, or what if he didn't win? I don't know. So I actually thought that line to be very interesting. Let me see what you guys are saying, though. Yeah, it's out. My bad. Yeah, I just had to check because, like, I don't know. I'm old. My memory be bad. All right, what are we saying? Since the spinoff loves to break the fourth wall, I would love him to reference how skinny he is the first time we meet him. Maybe he will say he lost a bet and had to put himself on a diet or something. I'm here for that. He was always muscular, but he came back very brolic later on in season 3. Was it? The dog ranker said Urek'S Shinsu was not controlled. Maybe Urek can't control Shinsu because the tower comes from the darkness and Urek is light. I'm going to come back to that. Who has the best fighting style visually, no bias? I say Ran, Bam, Jinsung, and Urek, and White. Ran is up there. Ran is pretty versatile. Ran is up there. How Jinsung be hitting a lot of poses? I'm kind of a Caliban fan because it's kind of ape. It's just punching. I'm kind of a Caliban. I might go with Caliban. White's up there though. Especially what White was showing, like the different shields and different swords and blades that he have. White's got a pretty nice sword style that I'm a fan of. I'd probably personally go with Caliban, even though I know it's pretty straightforward. Essence of bravery, punch, punch, punch. I like it. It's consistent. I'll understand it. That's how my man moves. Yeah, in that order, the Phantom Venom is out, thank you. I'm guessing Urek will be less adamant about fighting an administrator after going to the floor of death, not because of fear, but due to how destructive it would be. That makes sense. Hey, maybe the same way Urek has his power of the light, all the other Irregulars also have a power from the outside of the tower. Maybe that's what Revolution brings out. I like that idea. I'm still going to say, for the time being, the 13 Great Warriors are more normal Irregulars, not connected to a primordial light or darkness or whatever Enryu happens to be. But I don't dislike that. Revolution was a way to bring out whatever latent, and maybe the reason why Mazino didn't need to go under Revolution was because he already knows how to use his Luminous One powers. That's interesting. I'll keep that in mind. I can see Urek fighting an admin just for funsies, but not killing one like Enryu. Same. That threw me for a loop. If you dislike a law of the tower, can you beat an administrator to change it? Does it only change the rule set for that floor? Is it universal across floor? I didn't even think about that, Sly. That's a great point to think. I'm gonna screenshot that to bring up and think. I see it akin to does anyone here know what Disgaea is? The Disgaea video game series with like Lorhal and Etna, Flan, and later on like in that game to pass legislation as a demon, you can just beat the fuck out of like people and like change the law. Like you could be like, I'm gonna pass this bill that like I don't know, demons under 6 can't go to this park. And they could be like, no. And you can just beat them up and force them to change the law if you're strong enough. So that's what you reminded me of when you said that. Like I said in your Phantom Minute video, I didn't check the comments for that yet. My bad. I'm gonna do comments after this stream. I'm a little bit behind. I'm honestly like a week behind in comments. I apologize. Like I said in your Phantom Minute video, I don't think he's in Access anymore. I think that pretty much everything from his other stories isn't canon to TOG anymore. That's fair. Tiara's fighting style. Hold on. The pen though? The pen? The pen top 3. Ran is up there. I left with something. Ran is one of was my first favorite Tower of God character for real. So I always have love for Ran. And I miss him. Seeing Urek'S back and lat spread is about as hype as when we saw Shanks in a One Piece chapter. I feel it. Yuri also up there in terms of fighting styles. Yuri. Shoryuken Hadoukens. So you know what? Packing up the purple Dementor on the train. I'm not mad at it. Either boom you dead or let's have a story and and you're dead. From what the administrator said, I think Jihad fought the admin on floor 134 to seal the door to 135. I like that's interesting. Gotta take off, take care. Thank you for coming and thank you for the donation again. I appreciate it. The great warriors are the Rachels to Urek and Enryu. What is the monster in Zahard? Is Fanta and he couldn't hold all his power and he had to split himself up. That's why Wagnan also has the horns. I assume they all do. What? So you're saying you think the monster in Zahard is Phantom Minim and he had to break it up into pieces and that's why we have like maybe Karaka, Wagnan, the boss, and the captain? Is that what you're saying, Evan? Calivan I like, but I can't say it's the best. I think this spin-off will get the reason why Urek restricts his Shinsu maybe at 100%. He's like Gojo. No one could fight near him. Real destructive, more than trauma and gusting, just chaos. So like, because a lot of really strong characters have abilities and power that they can't fight when their friends are around because of collateral damage. Think like Whitebeard and people like that, like Guru no Mi Earthquakes. Like you have to restrict it. I think his Shinsu control gets so good where he can go by percentage and really quantify it in his head as he uses it more. But that's interesting. Caliban's not the best. I'm saying it's probably my favorite. I'm thinking of because I like the essence of bravery energy. Now this like how so simple. He just punches and blows stuff up, makes like a Shinsu arm and stuff like that. But I definitely think Ran and White are like some of the best. Hajin Sung to me is cool, but I feel like he's more like the poses he makes with his arms and his technician fighting style is cool, but doesn't move me the most. See, I really like the fight with Kaiser and JVG. With the bobbing and weaving through the weapon inventory, but that's not necessarily how they fight all the time. That was just one fight, but I don't know. I'm with the TR gang though. Listen, the pen go crazy. If Urek couldn't beat the admin, what do you think Urek's option on Enryu? If Urek can't be an admin, Urek should have an immense respect for Enryu's power. I think like it could be something special like the thorn that Enryu has that gives him the ability to do that. Like maybe Mazino can beat up an administrator, but he can't kill one. And maybe it's related to him being called the messenger of God. It's just one of those things I think we just need more information to make sense of it. But this doesn't necessarily mean I believe Mazino couldn't step to Enryu and possibly win. I'm not saying he does, But yeah, food for thought. I have a really important question. Where was Bam revived and got all of these powers along with V inside him? Was it outside or inside the tower? Shouldn't this only happen using Shinsu? We don't have the answers for that question right now. At least I don't. I will argue outside the tower though. 'Cause it looks like he learned Shinsu for the first time when he got in there, and kind of like the whole stuff with Roro and Ho and Luffy Ren, aka Yuga. Speaking of Tiara's pen, what happened with it? I last remember Bam kept it. Does he have it with him now, or is he just gonna forget like he did with the Black March? I think she got it back, didn't she? Or did Yuri have it? I don't remember. I actually don't remember. Someone who remembers where the pen is. What do you guys? Why do you guys think SIU made the spinoff? Is it gonna affect the main story? I think it'll affect the main story in some ways. Is he trying to wrap up the Tales user story universe story with Tower of God by setting up Phantom Minim as the final boss? No, I don't think that. I'm still on the train that this is a hard and or hate on. My headcanon leads to hate on. I think Phantom Minim is Mazino's final boss. If anything, is to separate Phantom Minim from having to like be Bam's final enemy and make it Mazino's. Maybe they fight in the tower, outside the tower, at the very end simultaneously when Bam meets reaches the top. There's a lot of things, a lot of ways you can take that, but I think in time we'll have a better understanding. Time will tell. Jinsung gives me Kung Fu Masters. Yeah, Kung Fu Masters always get KO'd. What if a maxed out Urek has a floor size bang? I do have to admit Calivan's Shinsu's arm was fire. Yeah, I like it. What if I put it past it? If like Uracia Blossom could accelerate Shinsu and just age people, like I wouldn't be surprised if he could just make a Shinsu big as a floor or bigger. What if Mazino is actually an Axis who self nerfs? My question would be, why do you think that's a possibility? I guess is my question. The pen was with Tiara. She died using it and probably picked up by Bum-Ass Pobadao that merged with Enkidu. I hate it here. Bam didn't get resurrected by the outside god. He just survived because of the tunnel effect. Yeah, Enkidu made Tiara's pen sticky, which pissed her off, so she blew him up. Then Enkidu cheated. I am the light. Urek Mazino 2025. The administrator admitting to always being ready for any smoke is actually hilarious and might be important information. I agree with that. Where it's like, you may not need permission to use these powers, but administrators are amongst the most powerful beings here, and we can even possibly hang with Irregulars. I did find that statement to be like, listen, if you want to fight me, I'm here. Anytime, any place, and swims away. I agree with you. If Fanta is Urek'S final enemy, then he has to leave the tower and fight him in a separate spin-off, or it'll be a sequel to TOG after the main story wraps up, which could be many years later. I agree. And I don't think that's outside the possibility. You have to remember his current goal is to leave the tower. He doesn't want to be in here anymore. So it wouldn't be shocked that he's like, yo, I have to get back outside the tower so I can stop Phantom Minim. Phantom Minim is the darkness, the denizen of darkness that's devouring light. I am the light. And yes, like the stream, hit the like button. I think it's a possibility because Phantom was originally an Axis. It makes sense. A lot of people believe Bam isn't Arlene and V's child, but a creation of the outside god. Others believe he's actually V, but without memories. What do you think of these theories? I've heard them. I've been hearing them for a really long time. It's not a new theory to me. I still think Bam is a child of V and Arlene, but I do think it's possible the original soul that was killed by Zahard, if you will, is like fighting for control, is somewhere in Bam, and when he was revived, it wasn't the original soul of their child. There's a lot of ways you can go with that. I've spoken about this, I believe, around the time the whole V situation happened with Vam. I remember having a really long half an hour discussion about all the possibilities. We even asked how the body sharing works. Is it more Yuji, Sukuna, Kurama, Naruto? Is it Ichigo, Hollow Ichigo, or White? It kind of depends on how you see it. And I'm like, yo, could he somehow expel V from his body? Could V take over another body? Remains to be seen. So why doesn't Urek try to leave the tower by climbing until the end by beating Zahard? I don't know. I don't know that that's the way out the tower. I get what you're saying. I guess if you just climb to the top and make a wish to leave or something, you can get out. But he might have information that he knows that Arlene has left the tower somehow and came back or whatever the case, and he knows there's a way out, and he's just trying to find that. Maybe he's lost interest in Zahar. He seems to be interested right now, asking the princess to let him meet him, but maybe he loses interest later on. Not sure. Garam did say that Enryu fought the administrator. Their fighting destroyed every single mountain and ocean on the floor, so administrators aren't just immortal, but also very strong. Well said. In my opinion, Bam is the outside god without any memories, and Rachel is the OG child of V, and Arlene in another body, but she doesn't know. I've heard that one before too, and I find it very interesting if like the whole main character thing in Rachel stems from the fact that, yo, that's my original body. Yeah, I was killed and something happened and I'm in this one. The Arlene thing, I'm not sure about. That might have been the first time I heard about it. I think most people think Arlene's just alive, but like in the loony bin. Zard, Bam, Monster, V. Like I'm playing it up. I'm kidding a little bit, but like yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, let's look at loss of implication to the idea. I 100% agree. So I did say that I thought that Mazino was gonna try to beat him with Shinsu. So what's kind of crazy is for a second here, I'm gonna pull it on screen for a second. I actually thought when he did this attack for a second, where is it? Even though I'm an idiot, like I should have known. Where is it? I should have known. Capture, boom, 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 like right here. I actually, for some reason, was like, no way the first technique he came up with was the Gorgon's Fist. It's because of the whole line with the snakes. It threw me off with the snakes, and I was like, no way. Because, like, Medusa's hair has snakes in it. Stay with me now. And as a result of that, I thought for a second, I'm like, there's no way that's the first technique he came up with. But it was the Scorching Fist of Death, the one that we know and understand here. And the translator note says this. Note, to understand the text of Rahab, this means 10, this means finger, and this symbol means blow or fist. Literally the word, whatever, has the meaning of blow of the 10 fingers. Now, Urek uses a play on words with the following meanings of the words. So this has the meaning to burn, to scorch, to make burn. This has the meaning of death, lethal, fatal, and finally, for the complete sentence, this word is given its second meaning, which was fist, leaving the name as Scorching Fist of Death. And then Rahab was like, he just made that ish up on the spot, didn't he? I thought that was funny. I like that. That was funny. Made me laugh. Shout out to Mazino. Shout out to my guy. Admins are immortal though. He just went to sleep and came back as a Red Theresa, a nerfed version of the OG admin. Maybe once Arlene got out, she couldn't get back in. One and done when it comes to climbing the tower, maybe. Maybe she's alive outside the tower? Okay. In Season 3, we saw the Irregular of Wolhike Sung versus the leader of FUG. Do you think in Season 4, we will see the Irregular of FUG V versus the leaders of Wolhike Sung Bayak Ryun? I like that idea. I'm not against it. I'm not entirely sure what direction Season 4 is going to go in, to the point where I'm interested in seeing if the end of the spin-off or wherever we stop has a direct tie-in to the beginning of the 4th season and how we move on from there. But I'm not against that. And Bayak Ryun's supposed to be a very gifted and talented wave controller. So I'll love to see it in action. Let Urek cook. Chef's kiss. The natural, uncontrollable, destructive Shinsu of Urek might be the same situation with Blossom problem that caused her genociding entire civilization. Blossom is the strongest wave controller while V has the most tension control of his bang. So you think she has an unruly, lively Shinsu that she can't control but has to subdue, like force it to submit to her power and will? The legend of the Supreme King Scorching Fist began with this chapter. This is where the lore is. The lore began. This is where the lore began. Okay. As far as the Shinsu control thing and the subduing, I wanna go to this back to this point because I actually think this, in a lot of ways, to me, is the most interesting part of the chapter. Though seeing the same oh, by the way, just real quick, we did confirm that this is the same administrator that Bam spoke to the first time he made contact with one to use Shinsu, where he told him he didn't have to when he was learning how to be a wave controller with Yuga, aka Lopo Bia Ren. We fully confirmed it. Cause someone had said they weren't sure. They felt like this is a whale and the other one looked more like a eel. This is the same administrator. So I don't think they changed per floor. Cause I was wondering, do they have shifts? Could like I be the administrator of floor 2 and then there's a different, and then I also work on floor 6 on weekends? Not entirely sure. So that was just something I wanted to confirm. But the administrator was the first person to say that Urek is outside the tower, which was cool to see. But he said it in his head. So here it is. I think in a lot of ways this was, to me, my favorite part of the chapter. Mr. Puppy, aka Mr. Dog, aka Baskerville, speaking with Mazino. Urek, Mazino, you have great power. Of course. I've never seen a regular use this much Shinsu in my life. I haven't seen all the Irregulars, but your talent for it is clearly special. Is that so? Although this level is more of a basic stat than a special talent. However, that talent is not be controlled at all. Eek. As you know, the method of controlling Shinsu is to channel Shinsu to a bang you create yourself. However, your Shinsu is completely different. Your Shinsu is generated naturally without the need for a bang, causing damage to the surroundings before disappearing. And that can honestly be called a controlled Shinsu, but more like a natural disaster Shinsu. It sounds great. It's not a compliment. When a person is talking, you just have to listen. No matter how look at it, you're not a person but a puppy. Listen to this puppy. I don't think there is any way you can control this disaster right now. So I think he goes from subduing and forcing the unruly Shinsu to submit to controlling it when he has more time, which is why you have the 1%, 12%, 10%, 20%. I think with him using Shinsu more and getting used to it, he was able to control it properly. First of all, you will not control this disaster, but you are going to subdue it. Yes, you subdue it with your own strength and force it to behave. The method of subduing it will be the fishing net. Fishing net, open your hands like this. And then he's like, it'll take you a few years to learn. He's like, I'll learn it in 2 days. And I was like, damn. And he's like, then do it. Then do it. Just do it. So yeah. That's the wrong page. Where was I at now? Sorry. Yeah, he's the one who fired Evankel as well, and the uncontrollable destructive Shinsu contributed to her learning that skill of fire can burn anything, even concepts. Do you think the admin standpoint of freely accepting challenges would have changed after Enryu? Ooh, so after Enryu had actually killed one, would they be a little more? I think it might. I think once one dies, I think you'd be like, we're not as infallible as we might think we are, so they might go about. I think they would go about it differently. I agree with this. I didn't think about that. What is Heidon's plan? The main theory going around is Heidon wants to get rid of the family heads in Zahar so that people will actually start climbing the tower and reach the real top. And I myself am subscribed to that theory. However, something doesn't add up. If that's the case, why do the whole Enkidu stunt? He was the one that caused the domino effect that led to Tramray becoming crazier than ever before and eventually becoming a family head. If he did it to Tramray, how can we be sure he didn't do it to others as well? I can't pull up a chapter because I am too lazy, but in one in one of the Traumaray flashbacks, it said that Amizu's death was one of the reasons the family heads are how they are currently. Yeon had a lover, but she got her heart broken, and now she is the Virgin Mary of the Tower. Maybe Haydon is behind that as well. I think that's why I don't like. I like the idea that Haydon's like, yo, this tower is for adventurers and people to come explore and climb to the top. I like that idea, but I feel like the way that he's going about it is so devious and underhanded that I think there's a hidden agenda here. I feel it's possible that he wants to control the tower, or maybe his fate is so tied to it, he wants to find a way to maybe climb it or maybe get the wish so he can be free from the tower. There's a lot of translation where he calls the tower my tower, Haydon's tower. I don't know that that's true or not, but, you know, it's a possibility. I'm not 100% sure what I think his ultimate end goal is, but I definitely think he wants the family heads out of here and Zahar not to be the king, to reopen the floor, because to reopen the 135th floor and beyond, because there's something important and essential to his goal there. I'm not sure what it is yet. I'll think about that and come up with a theory for y'all. Remind me when I forget, remind me. Not if, when. I did skip something here. I like that theory. I have a feeling that everyone who enters the tower just has a tendency of stopping. First, it was the workshop, then it was the Great Warriors, then it was Urek'S. So Haydon wants to find that spark to get someone to the top. Yeah. They started training after one died. They hit the gym. They said, yo, what? What's up, bro? They got Frank! On the 43rd floor, they got Frank! What do you mean they got Frank? Frank dead! They're like, hit the gym. Hold on, where's... After that, all the administrators got themselves one of these. They said, hold on. They ain't about to get me. I got me one of these. That's funny. They started trading after one died. Like, oh no, we're in danger now. Urek may not be Kirby like Bam and just absorb everything, but him learning years worth of Shinsu knowledge in 2 days isn't far behind. Agreed. It's very, very, very special. You'd think the admins of the tower and Enryu, the messenger of God, are friends with each other, but they're enemies. Weird. It looks like he was the one that wants to get rid of them, but at the same time, he is the reason they shut down the tower in the first place. Baskerville is really MVP. He ain't underestimate Urek'S at all. I'm giving him and Danzon their props. I like these official test regular ranker types. Liroro's probably still my favorite, but yeah. Well, I mean, Mew Love and Tiara, you know what I'm saying? You know, Mew Love, the kind of the go, you know what I'm saying? Chicken Love Club, we out here, you know, we move, you know what I'm saying? Spicy and seasoned side chicken, you know, fried chicken, cooler Gus, but you know what I'm saying? We on this side. Anyway, let me stop. Looks like he was the one that wants to get... Also, do you think Urek'S method of controlling Shinsu purely depends on his literal physical strength, and that's why he was able to use this method so easily? So you think the part where he uses the fishnet to force it is more physical in nature? I would lean 60% yes, but I'm still a little unsure. It could be something more innate or different or even mental. It could be more of a willpower thing. I really wish, like, I don't know how many of you guys play Sea of Stars, because you know what Roshan, the Immortal Alchemist, or the Archivist did with Bist, with the Living Glass. I think I could make a better example, but I don't want to spoil that. Administrator's lore just got unintentionally funny. I'm here for it, though. I'm here for it. What a time, man. Okay. To catch your unruly shit that is free, you will subdue it. Start practicing. I'll do it in 2 days. Then do it. He believed that he could do it in 2 days. Result of my training. Do you guys think there's a possibility Rahab stops this fight and gets in the way? Yo, Mark and I... No way, that's ordering Mark. I saw his comment. No way we thought the same thing. I have to talk to him about this. His comment here actually says what I had brought up earlier. Hold on real quick. That's kind of crazy. I don't know how well you guys can see it. Let me just zoom in. Like right here, he says, "What a gas chapter! I figured this was the origin of the Gorgon Fist. Review should be out later." And I was like, "Yo, not us both seeing the snakes and the punch and being like, no way his first attack ever was the Gorgon's fist, the fist of the Gorgons." That's funny. I got a message. I got a message. We had the same thought about that. I wonder why does Urek'S skill tied with snakes Gorgons? I think we'll get that answer soon. I'm not sure though. Hadon is the administrator of the entire tower, but he plays gatekeeper for new people entering the tower to play with chaos. Hadon is one of the is on a quest to avenge Frank. Frank was his homie from floor 1 to floor 206. That was his homie, and they got Frank out of here. He wants all our regulars gone. I don't know. I think Urek'S ability names and references will be tied to Greek myth references, not just snakes. That was what I was gonna say based on like the Gorgon's fist stuff, not necessarily snakes. I think maybe a lot of his attacks, because a lot of like characters, families, and stuff are associated with like certain football. I almost said footballing nations like Spain, Argentina, whatever the case. It's possible that a lot of Urek'S attacks will be like, I don't know, the kick of Zeus, the wave of Poseidon. I'm not entirely sure, but I did have that thought the first time I even saw the Gorgon's Fist ability. Though I did see Gustang use like Prometheus, like man's first fire. So there's kind of evidence that kind of goes for and against it. So I'm not sure where I lean yet, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think Rahab could interfere with the fight as it's sanctioned by the administrator. Oh, you're right. I'm tripping. You're totally right. Do you think Urek'S is doing his thing on the first floor? Do you think while Urek'S is doing his thing on the first floor, Fanta is bending over Zahard? If I was the admin and have two irregulars coming almost at the exact same time, I would think they are attacking the tower and be ready to run for my life after the Enryu and Fanta stunts. That first floor admin has balls of steel. It's so hard. I don't know. I don't think the Enryu thing happened. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me. I don't know. I gotta really think of the timeline. It's hard for me to. I don't know. My answers. I don't know. I don't want to even come up with something from the crease of my butt. Urek'S, acclamation towards snakes could just be a personal preference or parts of a Shinsu quality, or another one. Because someone had brought up like this Shinsu color is different from what he uses like at some points in the narrative, and I'm wondering if he already possesses different Shinsu shapes and qualities, not just a luminous one quality. So it's possible he's on his Kunedwan gimmick. And Ryu is ancient history. There was two irregulars that came in almost the exact same time, Bam and Rachel. That's a good point. I think the connection is Medusa being cursed into being a monster by Athena. She was known for her beauty. Light, maybe? So, okay, yeah. I'm here for it. That makes sense. Well, time will tell, though. Time will tell. Time will tell, man. Is there anything you thought we forgot to mention about this chapter or dive into? Do you have any questions, comments, concerns, theories, prognostications? What are we thinking? I've for the most part said what I need to say for this chapter. I guess just touching back to the very beginning of it, I actually am very intrigued to see what happens with Evelyn. Oh, there is a question I want to ask you guys that I might have asked it already. If I did, ignore me. How do you feel about the pacing kind of slowing down to this degree? Are we okay with it? You love it? You hate it? You're indifferent? You'll know how you feel about it in time as things continue and progress. Like, how do we feel with the pacing? Just because I think it's a little bit slow. And secondly, somebody had, I can't remember who said this in the chat, that complained about the pace and said that none of these characters are, they don't care about any of these other sideline characters. And I'd asked the question, maybe presently SIU's not doing maybe the best job balancing the focus on all these characters. This is not me saying this. This is just maybe that's how some people are seeing it. But if most, if not all of these characters are Wol Hike Sung members, founding members, and or allies to Wol Hike Sung, does that change your perception? So think of Neo, Terry, or Terry Rohan, the princess. I think Mr. Liu is dead personally because of the hat thing. I think he's dead. But if Mr. Liu you think is alive, what about Mr. Liu? What about even Danzon or like Baskerville? Like maybe they learn he's an irregular. They don't die here or anything of the sort. Do they become affiliates? Yeah. There's something weird about Arlene leaving the tower. How did she meet the outside god in Enryu? Maybe she didn't leave the tower, but they let her out. They let her out could be a possibility too, but didn't Garam say that her pocket had? I don't know. I'm not gonna go there because I don't remember. But I'm with you. There's something weird. I think Evelyn the Dolphin will end up going to the Danzon versus Urek. Interesting. It's a fine starting point. It has to be slower. This is only the beginning, an introduction, just like season 1 of TOG. I'd like it to be a bit faster, but as long as SLU can be healthfully consistent, I don't mind. That's fair. I think it's okay if this squad is going to be Urek'S OG group that he would still hang out with. I'm entirely fine with it if Urek will drag them up faster with him or if a bunch show up in Wol Hike Sung later. If they just get dropped 10% in, I'm not going to love the pace. I love the pacing. Okay, see? That's kind of what I was asking. Thank you. Not a fan of it, even if it's not a montage. I think SIU should speed up a little bit. I bet that the blue-haired girl and that glasses guy are going to take up 3 chapters that we've seen again. The incel and the girl who's like, I love guys who work out. Yeah, I'm with you. That's the one. I'm like, that better be. If you're going to make me sit through like a real moment with them, yeah, how dare he talk to her. Oh there, buddy, relax. I feel for me the pacing is about payoff. It's a mixture of expectation. If the crown game pays off, then I won't mind because now I'm expecting a long first floor arc. I think the first floor we get a jump. I'm with you. That's why I didn't like, as much as I can personally say speed up just a tad. I'm not criticizing him. I'm just kind of asking the floor what they think. What would you guys rate this chapter out of 10 if you have to give it a rating? What are we feeling? Honestly, after having this conversation, I'm up to a 7.8 out of 10. How do we feel? I'm going to 7.8. Again, I wouldn't go higher than an 8 right now. I wouldn't go lower than 7.5, but that's where I'm at for the time being. Yeah. And for anyone out there who's gaming, what y'all playing, man? What y'all been playing? Did any of you guys cop a Switch 2? Or any of you guys play Mario Kart World or whatever? What y'all been playing, man? I feel like I've been able to get through a decent chunk of my indie game backlog, and I'm feeling so much lighter and so good about it. To the point where, because there was the Summer Games Festival that came recently, and I've been looking at some of the games. Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up, which I know is based off the show, which I don't love. We got some Marvel vs. Capcom made by Japan Arc Systems. 4v4 Invincible got a fighting game. Versus fighting game. What else did I see that intrigued me? Oh, I care about Mina the Howler, but I like yacht games, whatever they're called, and I'm a huge Shovel Knight fan. Like a lot of cool stuff out there, man. Han, have you ever tried Dark Deity? It's kind of like a Fire Emblem indie inspired game. I like a lot too, because I didn't care for Fire Emblem Engage. It didn't look engaging to me. After really loving 3 Houses, I'll probably play it eventually someday. But yeah, just wondering. Also, sorry, what's our favorite panel this week? I'll show you guys my favorite panel. I thought this was super cool, and for a second I thought something completely different than what happened was that what ended up happened, but sorry, let me just go to the right screen. But this is my favorite panel. Let me get to it. It's when Mazino was starting to show Danzon what he can do. And there's this part where like he's looking behind him, as he's doing the fishnet thing, and yeah, you see like it's like the giant hands behind. He made giant Shinsu hands as the fishnet to crush in the Shinsu so he could absorb it, crush it in his physical hands, and then use it as a like punching fist thing. I thought this was really, really dark. Really nice. Sorry. Let me see what you're saying. 8.5. I want to sink my teeth into, and this was pretty enjoyable. 8.5 because I'm feeling hopeful. 9 out of 10. Not getting no damn Switch 2. I've been getting back into Fire Emblem. That's what's up. 8.6 out of 10. Baskerville and the administrator are making it nice. I found my last Fobkin in the Forlorn Temple. Okay. You're doing what you gotta do in the messenger right now. Give me my physical games, Nintendo, you bastards. Playing soul leveling Arise. You should try it. Is it a mobile game? I'm not a mobile gamer really. Is it a gacha game too? I don't play gacha games either. But what's soul leveling Arise and what's it about? Engage don't count as FE in my book. Okay, we're on the same page. I just find that most Fire Emblem fans that I talk to now are like much more new school. They're like Awakening and beyond. So when I'm on my old man like genealogy of the holy word, they're like boo, old man. So I was trying to temper my take, but yeah, Engage. I didn't play Engage, but it did not move me. I still technically want to play that weird Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei idol fucking singing game. I don't know. We'll see. Been replaying Zelda and Tears of the Kingdom. Then gonna replay Breath of the Wild next, as I want to get a good comparison between the two. I definitely want to play Breath of the Wild again. I'm not replaying Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just not gonna do that. I also went back to the rooftop in Wano, Inazuma. I'll look into Dark Deity. Yeah, give it a look-see. Favorite panel was the light hands holding the light. I like the I am the light panel. It's funny to realize that apart from the irregular ones, the most powerful regular is probably Rack in the history of the tower. That's interesting. 8 out of 10. You're a fan of Tellius? We like Ike! We like Ike. No, Ike is my goat for real. Not my goat. Well, yeah, kind of. I'm with you. We might have to talk. We have to do the Fire Emblem talk. I want to talk some Fire Emblem with you for sure. Favorite dialogue is the Urek flashback with Baskerville. I have no interest in Engage. I missed that panel. Need to reread. Yeah, like the big hands, like crushing it behind like Danzon, then it going into his real hands and then throwing the punch. And I was like, I almost thought he was gonna do some weird, like. Did anyone see the moral arc in Dragon Ball Super where Goku used that weird like Susanoo energy, whatever the hell he used to beat that stupid ass Ram? I thought he would do something similar. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Favorite panel was Agni and Brilith. I was happy for that one. Shout out to my goats over there. Also, why did Urek look like a fake character when SOU dropped those close-ups? Which fake character did he look like to you? Gilgamesh or something. Shout out to the Nasu verse. Shout out to Tight Moon. We out here. These giant hands Urek made made me wonder whether Bam would make himself some type of giant Shinsu avatar. He is always depicted as some giant fish or shark. That's true. Maybe it's just me. Might just be you. The only downside of Telios is how dang long it takes to play. The game loop is so slow, and in North America specifically, I think our normal mode was hard mode, and our hard mode was like whatever critical intense mode was, whatever. But I'm a big fan of Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Those are two of my favorite Fire Emblem games, alongside Genealogy of the Holy War. Believe it or not, I actually think Awakening is probably like top 6, top 5. It's really good. But I might have to re-rank them and go through them again. But I've pretty much played all of them. Even like Shadow Dragon, like 55 different versions of it, but friggin' Marth. My least favorite is probably Fates. Though I don't mind the Noir path, even though the middle path and what the hell were they called again? It was the Kingdom of Noir and Hoshido? And then you can choose to go neither, which takes you to the true ending. I wasn't a fan of Fates. Favorite panel was Urek backflip dodging and getting punched back, and his your favorite dialogue is him saying I am the light. Radiant Dawn is why I still have my Wii. Yo, we the same. It's not the only reason why I have it, but like there's certain games where I'll never get rid of my Wii. Like, no. I need to be able to play this whenever I want. And I won't lie to you, One Piece Unlimited Adventure is one of those games. And Tatsunoko vs. Capcom All-Stars is another one that I'm really a big fan of. Yeah. As far as sorry, just to wrap up the Tower God portion. What's our favorite dialogue in this piece of text in this chapter? I am the light is up there when he says special family race. I don't know, but you and I are different. I am the light. But I actually also like what the conversation he had with Mr. Puppy, Mr. Dog. I thought their back and forth was also very powerful. So I don't want to downplay that. Like a 1A, 1B thing or like, you know, a 1A, 1B thing. So I really, really, really enjoyed that. So yeah. We'll be back next week. Oh, I need to make sure I message Mark. I need to talk to Mark. Let me write this down on my sticky pad because I'm gonna forget. Message Mark TOG. The Wii just go to the general. That's a big fact. Face was Effie's attempt at the Pokemon version model. Yeah, it didn't work. I don't think it was the way for it. I don't think it's the game for it either. I'm trying to think what else am I very excited to play. I want to play Bow Path of the Teal Lotus. It's like, I don't want to be lazy and say this, but just so you guys understand, it looks like it's like Hollow Knight with a different art style, but it's more Japanese lore focused. That looks really, really fun. I've been playing Steep. I got Steep for $5. It made me want to try Riders Republic. Obviously, I recently spoke about the Sea of Stars and me replaying Chained Echoes, as the Sea of Stars had the DLC for Thrills of the Watchmaker, and we're having the Continent of Ascent or Ascent or something for Chained Echoes. Both really good games. I actually need to get. I have my Switch actually right now. My girl has had it for most of the time recently, but I do need to replay Xenoblade Chronicles X because that was one of my favorite games on the Wii U, one of my favorite games of all time. So I do want to replay that. Urek the Danzon, you and me, we are not the same. And Thousand Year Door. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm having a hard time replaying Thousand Year Door on the Switch remake. I'm gonna get through it because I want to play against Prince Mush and the Waka secret bosses and stuff and things like that. Like I really do. So I'm gonna play it. But I genuinely think the change of making it 30 FPS is messing with my gameplay, my timing, and the game feels longer to get through. It's messing with me. I'm currently on my way to Glitz Pits Chapter 3 in my my Switch playthrough, but the frame rate is bothering me. The FPS is bothering me. Like I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, the 1000 read more deck is funky. Yeah, and even like I know they've changed it, but for like multi-bonk and multi-bounce, like the timing is just doesn't like I've been playing Thousand Year Door since 2004, and I've played it at least once most years. That's a decade plus of muscle memory. 2004 is when that game came out. I'm 32. So because I understand that game so intimately, it's throwing me off that it's even slightly different. I thought about buying that until I'd seen the gameplay. My best friend actually bought me the game. I didn't buy it. I wasn't going to do it. But my best friend bought me the game. That's why I'm there. I have it. Same thing with Xenoblade Chronicles X. I would have bought that though, because I really like that game. Anyways. Resident Evil 9. I have to actually catch up. I have caught up. So, very recently, in the last like 5 years, I've gotten into Metal Gear, Resident Evil. What am I forgetting? There's another one. Yakuza's the one I have to do. But I'm on 7 right now for Resident Evil. To play 7 and 8. But I did catch back up. And I played Code Veronica and all the other ones too. I have. So shout out to Resident Evil. I also think the soundtrack isn't as good. You could. I think there's a badge or something you can put on to play the older music. The remix, some of the remix I like more, some of them I don't like as much. I really want to see Urek fighting Enryu. Complete opposites. One is close combat, and we know his physical prowess, while the other one's from a distance. I haven't played Parasite. Parasite Eve. I don't think that sounds familiar. Let me just look it up. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, or maybe I've like played it at a friend's house, but not like I know I haven't beaten it from start to finish. Parasite Eve. I will say this though, just so you guys know. Yes, I know of this game. I have not beaten it. Is this a like horror game though? A survival horror, Japanese role playing game. Yeah. I won't lie to you guys. I'm not a super horror guy. Like horror's cool. I don't mind engaging in from time to time, but like horror and like zombies have never really been my thing. Like I did play Last of Us and some other games, but that's not my bag. I even played Fatal Frame. That's not really my bag, but if it's good enough, I will try and play it. You think I like Parasite Eve? One thing about me, I'm open. Execution is everything to me. Even though I don't really play first or third person shooters, if it's a good one, I play it. I've played tons of Borderlands 2 with my homeboy, Tiny Tina. Shout out to Tiny Tina. Like I played the BioShock series, even though I'm not into FPSs like that. So like it just really depends. So, but horror's not my bag naturally. I actually played the OG Thousand Year Door recently too, so I'll get cooked if the timing has really changed with the remake. Yeah, I feel it. I'm definitely not a fan of horror. I'm a scaredy cat. I have played Dead Space though, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a scaredy cat necessarily. Like I'm not like macho man. Like there's like a sliding scale where like there's some there's some coward in me, but it's just not my aesthetic or vibe. Like what's the word they use? Like the gore and the horror and the tentacles. It's like it's off-putting to my stomach. It's like my tummy hurts. Like I don't like that. Like a weird parasite just came out of his chest and there's blood everywhere. Like I'm not a gore fan. Good game. It's a theatrical movie experience. It's plot driven. It's advertised as a cinematic RPG. Okay, fair enough. I'll Simi. I know Simi's played that. The Resident series is not one of those. The RE series is one of those that does not roll off precisely after the sixth part of the series was revived and continues to release successful games. For a while, they stopped being horror, in my opinion, because I had played 4 and 5. 4 and 5 were the first I ever played. I was Leon. I was Sanji. I was kicking the Las Plagas zombies with Leon. And then we got the joke that we make from like JoJo, if you know JoJo Part 8, is that actually I won't make that joke, but like then you had Chris was like mad brawling, punching rocks, trying to fight Wesker. Yeah, the body horror is bleh. Yeah, I'm feeling. You're talking about Parasite Eve, my fault. Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind. Especially since it's an older game. I like older games, so yeah. I think the next game I'm going to end up probably playing though is, if I had to guess, the next game I'm going to be playing, aside from anything I'm replaying, I'm going to go with probably Ball Path to the Teal Lotus, whatever it's called. I'm excited for that. Anywho, all right, guys. Signing off. Thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for hanging with me. We'll be back next week, obviously, with the streams and everything. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, shout out to Portugal. Chris is a Hulk of the franchise. Yeah, but I heard they made him smaller later on. Again, I'm not sure, but yeah. Shout out to Chris Redfield, man. Y'all be safe though.